still rolling, so as soon as you're ready, I'll start the trailer.
Roll that shit. Hello, everyone. As you may or may not know, I'm Queen Cream, and I am covering the Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay reveal trailer today. It premiered at Summer Games Fest, which I had the pleasure of attending. I got to see it in person, which was awesome. So I'll be talking a little bit about that. I'll be reacting and breaking down the trailer, and then I'll also be talking about what Ed Boon had to say afterward when he presented more about the game. And then I will also be detective presenting my clues that I've found on Twitter from all the streamers who got to go play it at Summer Games Fest after the initial reveal. So we have a lot to talk about today, ladies. So let's get right into it. It looks gorgeous. I am so sick of the people on the internet saying that it was bad. It's weird. That's a weird thing. How did he know to throw the hat if it wasn't?
I have had enough of you.
I have a feeling that
before I put you down, fight.
This is an origin story, baby. We're going to see babies of our characters that we love. Oh my goodness, these combos. I love that the gameplay looks significantly smoother and a little bit slower than 11. 11 was almost too fast. It felt like everything was in turbo combat.
What do you want? Seto. It's my
The way I, as well as the entire internet, panicked when we saw this character, thinking that it was Cole Young from the 2021 movie. But it's actually Tenchi looking hot as fuck. So there's Johnny. Oh my god, people on the internet have been saying Johnny's ugly. Wrong. Simply just incorrect. This is the best. This is the best Johnny Cage has ever looked. And I love his voice actor. I'm glad it's the same one. Same with Tenchi. The cinematic angles. I am so excited to see how those play. If they're attached to cameos or certain moves or what.
Enough.
Comedy.
Okay, let's go back to one here.
Did we clock?
Who are you
Kenshi
again?
sat in the back, so clearly
Protect
Johnny won that story fight.
God of Fire.
Cameos. Come on, Jax, this cameo. Also, we're going to talk about it. These stages, every single one of them is gorgeous. Come on, Wuxi Academy.
But you're inexperienced.
Whatever experience I lack, I make up for in heart.
Human rating is growing for me. Also, rest in peace, Richard Epcot. But also, this new rated might slide. Come on, Kano's cameo. If you notice, all the cameos are their classic skits from like MK1 and MK2, which is pretty awesome, honestly.
If your disease becomes known, you will be banished.
I am dying to know what is going on with Melina and her disease.
Covet my throne? Or do you secretly covet my throne?
Voice is weird. It's not bad, it's just weird. It's the same person, Carrie Waldron from MK11, who did both Katana and Melina, who is doing it again. It's weird because I love her Katana voice, but Melina is like almost too throaty for me. It's rare that I complain about throaty. Striker! Oh my god, the way everyone died. Pearls were clutched when Striker. Mr. Curtis came on screen. It's like, so in this game, the Fatal Blows are back, for sure. And they seem as if they're a combination of the cinematics from 11 and X-rays from X and 9. This whole game actually really gives me MK9 vibes. Come on, Walk of Fame, Death. Now that's Raiden right there. That's Raiden in his classic album. What a transition! Oh, here we go. Gotta see some. So I think that was actually a cameo fatality because that was classic Sub-Zero. And we do know now, after some people have played the game, that cameos have their own fatalities. That's been very confirmed. All right, so that trailer was jam-packed. There's so much to break down. There's Jesus. Oh. So that trailer was jam-packed. There's actually a lot of information that is in the background or just available, and you might not notice it because you're so distracted by what's going on. But that's why I'm here, to walk you through it and talk about all of it. I'm actually pretty glad that I'm making this video a couple days later as opposed to right away, because now that some streamers have played it, we have all kinds of new information such as fatalities, brutalities are back, cameo fatalities. Let's talk about it. Okay, so I'm gonna rave about this like crazy, but these stages are beautiful. They're so like layered. You can see that they have depth, and I'll show a video later. I saw NPCs interact with the battle that's happening. I would take this very high def, in-depth, layered, 3-dimensional, but in a 2-dimensional view, stages and backgrounds than the environment interactables, honestly. Biggest gripe with the environment interactables is that they're the same fucking button as the specials and shit, so I always throw something when I don't mean to. This is great though. This looks beautiful. Here we have Kung Lao, pre-Razor Hat apparently, fighting Sub-Zero, who is most likely Bihan due to some interaction dialogue that has come out. But this just looks incredible, and I'm excited for these stages. This one is called The Tea House. I do want to quickly point out the internet has sleuthed that right there, right in this area here, you can see a poster of Su Hao, and right underneath him right here is a picture of Kano. So some Black Dragon influence in this tea house, apparently. So now's a good time to address a huge elephant in the room that will come up later, and that would be Ed Boon casually saying that Scorpion and Sub-Zero are brothers now? I don't know how he expected to just drop that one and move past it. Does he mean literal brothers? Are they brothers in arms? Is it Bihan? Is it Kuai Liang? Is Scorpion Kuai Liang? What is going on with their storyline? I can't wait to find out. But just seeing them next to each other like this is like, wow. Wow! Chilling on Johnny Cage's couch. But no, okay, so this is Kenshi's hand loaded in the tattoos. We're getting very Yakuza Kenshi, which is pretty awesome. The fact that this is Kenshi is awesome. Come on, character reveal.
It's time to present this week's assassin.
It's a ghost. Is it like Casper?
Ross? Tia? What's going on?
What a way to do it. And the fact that he looks... First of all, he's not blind, so loop thrown for, he can see. That's not very characteristic of him. But that's also interesting because in the actual gameplay that was presented later, and you see in the select screen, he's in his pretty traditional outfit. It's got a little bit of a redesign, but he's got the red blindfold. He's got the red and black armor. So this is interesting. Why does Johnny Cage have Sento? Does he think it's a prop? Like, I wonder... They have crazy beef, and I wasn't expecting that for this gameplay. But we'll see how it plays out. So this is beautiful. My jaw dropped when I saw this stage. Okay, it just, what an awesome idea for a stage. Very unique. We've not seen this before. Johnny Cage's LA home. It almost looks like this is some Malibu house. You can see the beaches, the California islands. It looks like downtown almost in the background. Love this. And you get the infinity pool. Look at how good, like, the water flowing in the pool is just, to say that this looks worse than MK11 is crazy bonkers delusion for me. So that's not the tea that they were having in the tea house at all. This is beautiful, and I am excited to play on this stage, most certainly. And as we will see later, the stages actually have a day and night toggle switch, so it looks beautiful at sunset and sunrise. I love it. So that was really revealing. You might not have caught it when you watched it because there's no UI or anything, but it seems to me how Fatal Blows work in this game is that they are a 3-string setup. So it goes the first punch or the first, spectacle move once you trigger the Fatal Blow is the character that you chose to play as. The second part of the string is the cameo fighter, and the third part of the string is back to the character you chose again. A lot of the gameplay that has come out from the streamers and whatnot shows that that's kind of how the Fatal Blows work, which is pretty cool because that means what's one of the biggest complaints with MK11 is that, I'm tired of seeing the same animation every single match. It gets very repetitive, tired. So now with this cameo system, you're very likely going to be seeing different Fatal Blows every single match. It's not going to be the same thing because when you have a combination of 1 and 1, it's going to be different every time. And the roster, it looks like there's 24 slots on it and 16 cameo slots. So, I mean, that's a lot of different combinations right there. The math that I'm not going to do, but that's a lot. So who else clocked Mr. Kenshi being tied up in Johnny's home here? I'm thinking this is some story mode shit right here, and you're going to play as Johnny, probably, if they do the same chapter system, and you're going to win against Kenshi, and then, this whole spat happens, so just wanted to point that out.
One here. Who are you again?
Lord Liu Kang,
I
protector
love
of Earth.
Johnny's voice actor.
What happened to BIA is the same thing that's happening to BTR. And we walk into the studio one day and there's a poster of Angel Angel up on the wall. Like, why are they singing one of our songs? And the next thing you know, it's Bye Bye Boys in the Attic. Kick it!
There's so much aerial combat in this game, and I am living for it. It's giving Armageddon. The going up in the air and just it always, for example, in MK11, Fujin had the skywalk move that could send you all the way up in the air if you amplified it enough, and I loved that. I thought it was so much fun to be all up in the air. And just to throw this out there, there's a Mortal Kombat character who has some wings who could debut as the flying fighter. I'm of course talking about Natara, so she could really slide on into this gameplay, honey.
Or in heart.
Human Raiden and Visible Eyes seeing Kenshi is just Wyatt, both training at the Wuxi Academy, apparently. Very MKX X-ray for Raiden here.
If your
Well,
disease becomes
hold the tapes, Mary. Hold the I have so many questions. First of all, why is Kenshi here? This is clearly Kenshi from what we've seen in this gameplay. What is he doing and why is he involved with Melina in any way, shape, standard, or form? Second of all, this beautiful bitch in the chair here, what is going on with this disease? They distinctly call her affliction a disease. So is she no longer a creation from Shang Tsung's flesh pits? Perhaps she is a real Edenian daughter of Sindel, and she has this curse or this disease, as they call it. Do they just think that it's a disease before, and then the truth will be revealed later? I'm also very intrigued because this shows that Melina's mouth can transform, so I'm assuming that implies she can put it back. So I am very curious to see how that plays out and what her alignment is. If she's a good gal now, or she's bad. Let's see. Oh, and see, there's an interaction that's already been out there where Liu Kang tells Katana that she has a greater purpose than to serve Melina. And she responds with, "It's my life's duty to serve her." So, is Melina queen? Is there no Sindel? Is Sindel involved in any way? Perishing on the spot to find out. I know that's nice drink. The fatalities even feel a little bit toned compared to what we've seen in the past. I can't decide if I like that or not, because I do kind of enjoy a really spectacle fatality video game. Let's have some fun with it. But at the same time, it's similar to the X-rays in the Fatal Blows. They can see the same animation over and over again with firing, so if they're simpler, they're shorter. Classic. A lot of classic fatalities. We've seen, it's clear that we just saw the spine rip. We know that Jax, his big boot fatality from MK2 comes back. I was like, what in the Cetrion? So this gameplay trailer is fully loaded. Details galore. I'm sure I missed a few, but I wanted to point out the most important and most telling ones for me. After the trailer was shown, Ed Boon came on stage and actually had a little bit more to say and gave a little bit more clarification. There was also a written interview, Q&A style, that he did with, I forget. I'll edit in the name.
It was Brian Tone.
So let's see what Ed Boon had to say about this game.
The Summer Game Fest, one of our industry's greatest
This was
creators,
really cool to see in
a man
person,
who has
too.
been
I've
loyal
never
to the
been
same
to an event like
franchise and
this, and
fan
it made
base
me,
for more
you know,
than
as
3
a
decades.
hard
Please
working
join me in
woman,
welcoming
I don't have much
to
time
Summer
for
Game
video
Fest
games anymore.
the
Just the
creator
ones
of
that I
Mortal
really, really
Kombat,
like
Ed
Mortal
Boon!
Kombat. So to see all these trailers and the stage like this with the room full of all these other people was a lot of fun. It made me want to get back into video games. Something happened because I don't have
Congratulations for the gameplay
Oh my
of
God, I'm thinking about
MK1,
how
and
difficult it would be to
everyone
cover
just
up
wants to know
Ed
more
Boon's
about this, because
eyebrows.
first of all, this
He's
is
a
in
drag
it's
nightmare.
MK1, right? It went from 11 to 1. So tell us about this. Is it a new timeline?
Yeah. I don't know how many people have seen the ending of Mortal Kombat 11. Liu Kang basically was kind of graduated into, like, you know, a fire god, right? And he created a brand new universe. And this universe, this is why we're calling it Mortal Kombat 1, is because this is the beginning of a new timeline. A number of these characters you've seen before, but they're told in a completely different story. And so Sub-Zero and Scorpion are brothers now, and there's all these things that were rivalries before are now allies, and so mixing the whole thing up.
How was
So
he
we're
just
just
gonna
kinda
drop that
rebooting
information
it.
and
That's
move
what
past
the
it like
book's
he didn't
for.
just drop a
It looks incredible.
bombshell?
Everything we saw there was, in-game gameplay. The cinematics look incredible. I know the team has been working for 4 years on this, but the thing we got to talk about are these cameos, because we saw some pretty amazing stuff there. Now, tell us, how does that work? You have your main, character that you'll pick, and then I know you also have a separate kind of cameo menu, so you pick sort of a pair when you start the game?
Yeah,
Look, that's
normally
like-
in a
okay,
fighting game,
something
you'll
I
see
have not seen talked about as
a
much on the
roster
internet
based.
is that the way this looks to me, like where Jeff, the host here, is standing, there is a very noticeable gap there. So why is the select screen in groups of 8? We've got a group of 8 there. Right behind Ed Boon, there's another one of these gaps. So we have a group of 8 here. And then in the middle, I think we have a group of either 6 or 8. It's kind of hard to tell that one of them might be blocking a slot. I think Ed is actually blocking a slot. But my point is, there is a very distinct gap here. So I'm interested why the select screen is sectioned like that. It might be just a stylistic choice, but I do think it's very intriguing.
After you do that, there's a second roster of characters, which are a whole new, completely different fighters that are the cameo fighters. And these fighters
Nice. That's actually what I was picturing. A whole
they
other
will
select
join
screen.
the fight.
And this one,
but they
is
A lot
not
of blank squares
segmented.
there.
Yeah, so it's kind of like,
And I'm counting 16 cameos to start. However, in that written interview I was talking about, Ed Boon said that he expects 15 to 20 on day 1. So this is not by any means final product. And if the faces look off, that is something that happens every single time. This trailer was not put together yesterday. It was probably put together months ago when the game was not as far along in development. So the faces will look better and everything will look more polished. This happens every Mortal Kombat game for some reason. Go back and look at Cassie Cage's face from MK11, okay? Look at any face from MKX. It will get better.
Like, imagine yourself with Sub-Zero, but you have some of Jack's moves, and you can call him out. You can do it multiple times, as you saw in the gameplay.
Some
So
cameos in total are like a mix between Tag Team and MK11 Tower Assist, which is sort of a mixed bag for some. I haven't played the game yet, so it's hard for me to be like, oh, I love this, I hate this. Overall, I do love it. I think the idea of this 2-on-2 is a great refresh to the formula. This is a whole new entry, a whole new universe. It might start a whole new trilogy, a whole new series. Who knows? So the NRS era, the reboot timeline, MK9, MKX, MK11, done, over with. This is a brand spanking new. This is literally MK9 rebirth. So we have a lot to look forward to.
You can basically combine these two characters. All the characters can be combined with all the cameo fighters, and that's where the players kind of imagine.
This is some crazy shit. The fact that there are no loading screens, you select your stage, the characters have this head-to-head clash, that's where the intro dialogues happen, zooms out, now you're on the stage. Beautiful. We love some seamless transitions.
Nation comes in, and they can actually customize it for what they like seeing. The best team ups.
Well, so how does that work? So you're in gameplay, you have your main, you have your cameo. How do you summon them? Is it time based? Like how often do they?
And maybe they even talk more here. We don't know.
Right?
Yeah, show them
exactly. And you're basically summoning them. It's just one button push, basically summoning. But they have a variety, so you can go, push that.
Cameos? Are there some repeats from the main roster? How will that work?
Yeah. Some of the characters are going to be available as cameos as well as the main roster fighters. You can play Sub-Zero with Sub-Zero, right? Same thing with Scorpion. But a lot of our cameo fighters are kind of like nods back to our first game. So you'll notice Sonya and Kano and Jax are in their kind of older costumes. And so there's a lot of that novelty. We have a lot of like really surprise ones. I think you guys saw Goro.
Yes, Goro popped in there. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of like kind of
People
really
are mad
digging
about
into
Goro.
the old
I thought Goro
Kombat games.
That Jean-Claude Van Damme is actually going to be in this game as Johnny Cage, right? Is that true?
Yes.
So it's like a premiere skin, like a Dimitri Vegas situation, where they give him a skin. He recorded all the voice lines of himself. Pretty awesome.
No, the story. I mean, Bloodsport was such an inspiration for Mortal Kombat.
So that's the gameplay reveal and a little bit of Ed Boon's follow-up thoughts. We know many more things, and more information is literally coming out by the minute as people play the game and discover more based off, the limited, essentially, demo that the developers have put out there for people to play at Summer Games Fest. We know we've seen plenty of fatalities at this point: Kenshi's, Katanas, Sub-Zero's, Liu Kang's, cameo fatalities. It's really cool to see this information and it's making the game feel real. We also have seen some little background details, like there's a picture of a woman sitting on the throne who looks a lot like Sindel. And if you're thinking, oh, it's probably just Melina, it's not, because there is also a picture of what is clearly Melina on that throne. So I'm thinking Sindel's involved. I don't know if she's going to be playable. I kind of hope so. But she's at least going to be involved. And Katana has an intro dialogue where she mentions fighting like her mother. So Sindel's going to be involved in some capacity. There's also an interaction dialogue that mentions Countess Jade. So I'm very interested what's going on there. That makes Countess is someone high in a court of law or married to someone of that stature. So that makes me think, oh, Countess is Kotal Khan involved, and are we going to explore more of Jade and Kotal's relationship? I'm wondering how that's going to play out. Or is it just simply an allusion to Jade? Maybe she's not even involved in the story. She's not base roster. Who knows? I like to speculate about these kinds of things. What else have we seen? Some other details we've noticed is that Scorpion is in fact wearing a Lin Kuei medallion. It is not the Sha Ryu logo. It is the Lin Kuei logo. So that is an interesting detail, and further goes to the fact that they're apparently brothers now, cannot get over it. An interesting detail that I noticed this morning is that in the quick appearance Goro makes, which people are complaining about his height, but let's calm down for a split second, because a couple of things. He's behind the characters, so there's an element of depth there. He has got his knees bent as well, and he's on screen for 2 seconds. I think Goro is still going to be like large and fine. I think some people are really quick to just jump on the "this sucks" train, and you gotta just give it some time, baby. Like, the game is still 3 months away. It's not that long, but also a lot can happen in 3 months. They can easily scale Goro up, you know? So I think it's gonna be okay with Goro. We know for sure that brutalities are back, which I'm always excited for. Can't have a Mortal Kombat game without brutalities. Also, through some intro dialogues, we know for sure that Sub-Zero, that as we see him, is Bi-Han. Liu Kang says it to him in an intro dialogue, which makes me think that Serena could seriously be involved and be base roster if we are dealing with Bi-Han Sub-Zero. Serena is innately tied to Bi-Han in every way. So all the signs are pointing to Miss Serena in the game, and I'm telling you, the day I see that reveal trailer, I am dying on the spot. Another interesting intro dialogue is between Kitana, who has a dope fatality, by the way, and Kenshi, to where she says,
"Ever battle a blind swordsman?"
You aren't the first, Takahashi.
"You are not the first, Takahashi." That threw me for a loop, because does that mean we're going to be seeing more of Kenshi's ancestors? Is that just alluding to the fact that Kitana is 10,000 years old, so she's seen his other members of his lineage, his family lineage? So I just thought that line super stood out to me. So there are my thoughts on the Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay reveal trailer that just dropped. So excited for the rest of this marketing cycle. We are fully in it, baby. I'm really hoping we don't have another roster gate situation for Mortal Kombat 11. If the full roster leaks again, it will really kill a lot of the hype leading up to the game. It's only 3 months away. I'm very excited to get the piece by piece. Here's another character. Here's another stage. Here's some story elements. It's the build-up is the fun part about it. We all get hype, and then the game comes out, and we go, "Oh my god, this is what this meant." It's an event. So I would hope that this time the roster does not get leaked, and if it does, I'm going to do everything in my power to not look at the leak. How are you feeling about Mortal Kombat 1? I know I'm excited as hell. Let me know down in the comments and talk to me about it. I am so obsessed with this franchise and this game. I am always willing to talk Mortal Kombat with some fans. If you want to see the entire marketing cycle, reveal trailers, gameplay, story covered until the game's released, subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be talking about it for the next 3 months. The way this game is going to be my personality for the next 6 months. 3 months till the game comes out, another 3 after to play it. It's gonna be great. So let's talk some Mortal Kombat. I am gonna go finish him in the bathroom. Bye bye.